I'm Robin and welcome to Pilates for Runners. I'm so excited because we are doing our very first interview today and we are interviewing the lovely Kathleen Trotter. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I love talking about health and fitness and Pilates and especially running. Running is my bliss, so any chance to talk about running.
I'm not sure if you are all familiar with Kathleen, but she is a seasoned personal trainer, certified Pilates instructor. She is the fitness expert for the Globe and Mail. She writes for the Huffington Post. She's run an Ironman. She's done 7 half Ironman, 10 marathons. I mean, it's amazing. But so running is a huge part of your life. What was it about running that really you felt really connected to? Or
you know, honestly, when I had a girlfriend and she said, Kathleen, you should run a half marathon with me. This was like 14 years ago, and I was like, I would rather die. I didn't like running when I first started, and she was like, no, you have to. So I did it with her, and all through the half marathon, I was like, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna murder you, why did you make me do this, I hate this. And then we crossed the finish line. There's something about crossing that finish line, and I was like, when do I do my next race? So then I was sort of hooked, and you know, it's just a process of figuring out what works for you, and I feel like it's also just a process of making it a part of your life. So the first couple times you do it, you're like, oh, I don't like this, it's hard, right? And none of us like things that are hard. But if you do it properly, you know, you progress gradually, you don't injure yourself, you go at an appropriate speed and distance, and you know, the timing's appropriate, then it becomes really fun.
Yeah, that's what I found is honestly, I didn't think I would love running as much as I do. And when I first started, it was hard. It was like, this is the hardest thing I've ever done.
And you know, even me, the last 3 years in a row, I've taken February as my non-running. I'm going to do everything else cross-training month. Just because running's hard on the body, you know, it is. That's the fact. Every time you land, you have to absorb your weight plus up to like 6 tons of forces, and that's a lot for your joints, right? Your muscles to disperse that. So I've been like, okay, it's crappy in Canada to run in February. I'm just not going to run. And you know, every March 1st, I start running again. And my first week, I'm like, why do I do this? I don't even like this. And then you get back into it, and then it's not as hard. And you're like, oh, I actually do like this. Wait a second, now I remember. This is what I was missing for that entire month. So yeah, it's just, you know, practice that makes perfect. And that's really what it's all about when it comes to everything with health. Is you just have to, I say to my clients, if you fall off the fitness horse, you get back on and you want to ride. So you have to, basically what that means is you have to figure out what works for you. You have to persevere. So it's not a will I exercise, it's a when will I exercise. And it's a non-negotiable. So, you know, if you decide you don't like running, so don't use that as an excuse not to exercise, go to a yoga class. Like do something, just try it, you know, and if you're like, oh, I don't like this, I'll do that. If I don't like this, I'll do that. Right? You know, so figure out what works for you.
In terms of talking about perseverance, I didn't join a running group in order to run my first 5K. I'm doing it by myself. But I'm finding...
So your sister-in-law's doing it with you?
Yes, she's running the 5K with me, but the training, I'm doing it on my own. And I'm finding that staying motivated has been a challenge.
It's really hard.
It's you know,
it's
on
just
myself.
So I mean, everyone has to find, again, it's that perseverance to figure out what works for you, your recipe for success. So for some people, getting a friend, like a fitness running buddy, really works. For me, I only like running with a friend maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks, because I really like it as my me time, almost like a meditation state. So you have to figure out what works for you. Some people only want to run with a group, some people only want to run alone. The trick is to use, you know, your knowledge of yourself to figure out what's going to work. So for me, I know that I always feel better after I run. So I tell myself, okay, Kathleen, the future Kathleen is going to be happier if you do this. I always try to live my life with what the future Kathleen is going to want, right? So I say, you know, you could stay in bed and sleep for 3 hours, but then you'll be sleeping there, you'll be tossing, you'll be turning, you'll be sort of kicking yourself that you didn't do something. Or you could get up, you could do a 20-minute run, and then you come back, get back into your jammies and watch a movie, and you'll be like, oh my God, this is amazing. And you'll really enjoy your relaxation.
And you felt that you accomplished something.
Exactly. So I use for myself what I call the 10-minute rule, which is basically when I don't want to do something, I say, Kathleen, you have to make yourself do something for 10 minutes. And if you want to stop after 10 minutes, at least you've done something. But normally, once you've done 10 minutes, you do 20 minutes. And once you've done 20 minutes, you just finish the run, and then you're like, fine, good, we're good to go, right?
So what are some tips or tricks that you have found have worked for you over the years that you could share with some new runners?
Well, the 10-minute rule is huge. And I like to use what's called the law of initial value, meaning I say to myself that the lower my mood is, the more important the workout is. So if I'm in a really peppy, good mood, I'm like, that's the day I'm allowed to skip my workout, because honestly, I don't need my workout that day. But if I'm really low, that's the day you force yourself to do something, because that's the day you have more room for improvement. So I learned that rule, I think it's like second year psychology of exercise, and it stuck with me because it's so true. We often are like, oh, I feel crappy today, well, I'll go, have a drink or I'll watch TV. No, those are the days you make yourself do something. And the days you're like, oh, I'm a really happy woman, then you're like, oh, I'd go with my friends right now. Like, I don't need that boost. And so for me, really running, it's about my mental health, it's about how I feel, it's about my all over mood, it's about my energy. So I just remind myself of that when I don't want to do it. I just sort of say, you'll feel better when you've done it. The future Kathleen will be happier if you get your bum off the sofa. Like, just do it.
So in terms of keeping your body prepared and protected for when you're running, are there any Pilates exercises that you love to do?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a really big fan of anything that sort of strengthens you to run. I always tell people don't run to just purely get in shape. People are always like, well, just run, I'm in shape. Like, no, don't run to get in shape, you have to get in shape to run. Running is really hard on the body, right? So Pilates is a great way to get in shape to run. So a lot of the traditional Pilates exercises are on the floor, and they're great to start with. I can show you, something like a bridge with the lifting of the leg. Anything where you're doing a single leg exercise, that's going to be the best for running, right? Because running is spent on one leg. So you want to make it more functional for running, you want to do things single leg. So you can start with a bridge with a leg lift, or a bridge with a leg lift, and then bringing the leg out to the side to keep your hips stable. You could start with some side leg lifts, and then lifting up and then going backwards, so I call it the D-lift, getting that extension of the hip, because that's really important when you run as well. I can show you all those. But then, as soon as you've mastered the floor stuff, it's really key. You gotta stand up. You've got to take it, because you can be so good on the floor. Your glute med is sort of your stabilizer, right? So it can be awesome on the floor. I've seen so many people whose glute med is like, oh yeah, at the moment that they stand up, nothing works, right? So use Pilates floor exercises to sort of prime your nervous system to figure out how to turn on those muscles. But as soon as you got it on the floor, get out.
Do you want to take a look at some of
Yes, all right. So why don't you lie on your back on this mat, and I have a mat.
Okay.
And then I'll use this block for the standing stuff.
Okay.
Okay, so bridge. First, you want to make sure your feet are parallel, right? And hip distance apart. And you want to find what I like to call the triangle, right? So you got the ball, the big toe, the ball, the little toe, and the heel, all equally weighted, which is really key for runners, because most people either supinate, right? They run on the outside of their feet, or they pronate, right? So you got to get that triangle, arch lifted triangle here. Engaging your bum, right? Get a little bit of pelvic floor, so I always cue it just picking up your blueberries with your pelvic floor, right? But making sure that it's more the front of your pelvic floor, not the back, so you're not gripping in your bum, and belly button in. So that's sort of the core engagement, and then you're just going to think about using your glutes, and you're just going to lift your hips off the floor. So this would be sort of a basic bridge. You want to make sure you're always not using your lower back, got your ribs a little bit knitted, and you're engaging your bum. So that would be the basics. If you've never done a bridge before, you could start with something like that. Once you've mastered that, you could lift up, and you could lift one heel.
Just the heel?
I know, you're too thick. You're way ahead of us. Okay, so just, let's do this one so that watch this and see. So just one heel, and you can see, now you're fit, so that doesn't happen. But imagine you're not fit, and so you probably go like that, right? So as soon as you lift this side, that will sink. Exactly. So you want to think level, you want to think glutes, specifically this right butt cheek, this heel pushing in. But on this side, you want to think like you have a poker pushing up through there, right? A little piece of string up through here. So that would be level 2. Level 3 might be keeping both feet on the ground, but doing a little bit of a hip drop. So drop this left hip down, like you're pretending it's sinking, and then you're, oh no, don't want to sink. Use your bum and lift it back up. So that's a really nice one to go from there. And then once you've mastered that, then you could go to a leg lift, which would be a next. And you can see when you lift this up, imagine you're not strong, your hip's gone down, right? And then you're like, oh no, I'm gonna pull it up, right? So that's why that hip drop. So then the next level after this would actually be leg lift, but doing that hip drop, right? No, don't drop this hip though. You drop this hip, like your glute med's not working, and then engage your glute med and push it up, and making sure this hip stays nice and long that way. So you're definitely getting back here, but I want you to think about this one as well, right, as you go up and down. Okay, so that would be, perfect. And then once you sort of stabilize that, then you can play around with playing with this foot. So if you bring the leg back up again, you could actually go out to the side and then get a little bit of obliques on this side and a lot of glutes on that side, still keeping that level, right? So you can get that. And then you can even get sort of almost more of a like out to the side, drop down. and then up like that,
Yeah,
right?
the abs and butt are burning.
Exactly, right?
For
So
sure.
that's a huge amount of stability
Yeah.
on this side, which is what
Yeah.
you need when you run. Your foot lands on the ground and your hip has to stabilize.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be a nice little series, and that would take you a couple, probably a month or two to progress all the way up. It's a
Yeah.
lot of progressions.
Yeah.
And then once you got that, then you can stand up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Or do you want to try lying on your side?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So again, this is, there's so many side leg lift series in Pilates, as you know, but you could just start with the basic one. So the trick with the side leg lift is that most people use their hip flexors, as you know, and most of us sit so much that our hip flexors get really tight. So you want to make sure you're using your bum, not your hip flexors. So your left top leg is really long. You want to make sure you're long through here, and you want to make sure you're almost pushing your pelvis forward slightly, and you're bringing your bum back without letting your lower back arch. So you get that little bit of pelvic floor. And then I always cue people to use tactile feedback. So put your hand on your glute med there, just like right behind the seam of your pants. You find your seam here, it's like long, yeah? And then you're just gonna lift up, thinking about engaging a little bit of that glute med. So that would be the sort of first level of that. And then to make it a little bit more running specific, you come up, and then as you go backwards, you do more, I call it back bottom, more glute max. It's that extension of the hip that you would get when you run.
Oh yeah.
And then back down. So then you get that glute. So the side bum, when I keep referring to glute med or side bum, that's more of the stabilizers of the hip. So when your foot hits the ground, not letting your hip go to the side, that's what that does. And then when you go backwards, that glute max, that's more of the pushing, propelling you forward. So that's a nice progression there.
Yeah.
So you can go into that. And then, there's tons of progressions. So you could wrap a band around your thighs and do it with the band like that as well.
Okay.
And then once you've mastered that, then you want to make sure you stand up and start to do lots of standing balance stuff, finding that triangle in your foot while standing.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
Okay, so now try standing on the block.
With just one foot?
Yes, please. Yeah, and then you can play around with that. So this leg that's on the block, you want to make sure your knee is micro bent,
Okay.
and you want to find that triangle. So you'll see that most people, when they do this, either they roll out or they roll in. So you want to think equal weight through here,
Okay.
a little bit of lifted through your arch,
All right.
without rolling out to here, right? Knee is a little bit bent. And then you want to be as stable as you can. So you're using this glute to stabilize you here, right? And then you can play around with moving that leg like you were running. So you can lift it up, right? Yeah. And then you could go out to the side to get some glute there without leaning over. And then you could also do extension back here to mimic the extension when you're running.
Oh,
and
nice.
propelling yourself forward.
Yeah, that's great, and it's engaging all through here as well.
Hip
So
stability,
well
exactly.
supported.
Yeah, you want to make sure you got that pelvic floor, the little blueberries,
Yeah.
the belly button in, the pulling wide to the hip bones, right?
Yeah.
The saran wrapping of your abs, all those images that you would use in Pilates, but apply them to standing. It's a really good functional way.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. All right. Thank you so much for watching, and join us next time.
Yeah.